Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett Steak. Let's get started. I got to go over my college football predictions for Week 4. As I said last week, not a lot of good games on paper. I mean, there was a few upsets, not a lot of good games on paper. But this week, there was a lot of good games on paper. Like I had to leave some off my top 10 list because there's a lot of good games. Um, well, let's get started. Let's go number 10. The battle of the undefeateds here in the Pac-12. You got 7 USC versus Oregon State. Tonight their game. Fortunately, on the Pac-12 channel, so I won't be watching. But USC is a 7-point favorite here. USC's looking the part so far. On offense, I expect them to score a lot of points in this game because Oregon State on defense has not been that impressive. However, the USC defense might have a good test on their hands here. This Oregon State offense is explosive, and they could put points up on the board in bunches. Especially being at home here, I feel they can make this a very competitive game, so USC cannot take them lightly. In the end, though, I feel like USC will survive their first big test of the season because Stanford and Fresno State were on their level, apparently. But I feel like this would be a good test for them. USC will survive, either winning 45-38. Next, you got Kansas State 2-1 versus 6 Oklahoma. 8 p.m. game on Fox. Oklahoma's favored by 13 points. I feel like that line's about right. Kansas State, they probably were looking ahead to Oklahoma, and maybe that's why they lost to Tulane last week. I'm not sure. Only scoring 10 points was pathetic. But I feel like Kansas State, get up for this game, maybe make things a little more interesting. But I feel like Oklahoma, as they've shown so far, is just a very good team. And I feel like even if it's not looking pretty, they'll figure out ways to win this game. I have Oklahoma winning this game at home, 28-14. Number 8, you got Duke and versus Kansas. A battle of the undefeateds here. Kansas 7.5-point favorites. It's a new game on FS1. This is a very underrated game. If it were a basketball matchup, it'd obviously be the best matchup of the season. But football-wise, we're about to see what both of these teams are made of. Who's legitimately going to be good this season? It helps that Kansas is at home here. And what also helps for Kansas is that they've been battle tested. West Virginia, they may not make a bowl game, and even if they do, it'll be like 6-6, 7-5 probably record. But they're a very good team, especially on offense. They've been very impressive offense so far with JT Daniels their quarterback, and they beat them. And they also beat Houston by 2 possessions, where Houston's going to be a contender to win the American Conference this year. So those are very good ones. Duke, beat a Northwestern, who then lost to FCS teams. Northwestern might not even make a bowl game this year. A bad Temple team and an FCS team. So it's like I don't really know what they are yet. So they have something. They have to prove me something before I can take them seriously. So therefore, I'm taking Kansas to win this game, and I have them also covering that line. By the way, I have them winning 38-27. 7, you got Wisconsin 2-1 versus 3 Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by 18 points. 7:30 ABC game. Now this is a game Ohio State will win. I don't think anyone's doubting that. The question is, does Wisconsin make it interesting? Because Wisconsin defense is legit. So I don't think Ohio State ain't going to be putting up 40-something points this game. That's not how it's going to go. It's going to be more like Notre Dame where, okay, they're going to have to grind it out to get points on the board. But because Wisconsin's offense, though, is not that great, passing the ball, so if Ohio State just contain the run, then Wisconsin's not going to be able to do much offense. So that's where the difference comes. And I have Ohio State getting the job done at home. I have them winning 24-7. 6, you got Washington State 3-0 versus 15 Oregon. Oregon's favored by 6:04 p.m. Fox game. While Oregon is not a championship caliber team as they proved against Georgia, they did show they should be the favorites to win the Pac-12 again, and they're going to be in that mix with USC and Utah. Head coach Dan Lanning is turning his program into Georgia of the West, basically to run the ball, have your quarterback be a game manager who doesn't make mistakes, and then play great defense, especially run defense. I wonder how much of a test Washington State will be, because Washington State, showed against Wisconsin, they can contain the run. So Oregon shouldn't be rushing for over 200 yards in this game. But I don't think Washington on offense could do much against a solid Oregon defense, because I don't think Washington's better than BYU was on offense. And Oregon's able to contain BYU's offense to a degree. So I have Oregon winning this game by like 2 possessions. I have them win like 27-13. 5, you got 20 Florida versus 11 Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 10 here. 3:30 game on CBS. I know it's 2 ranked teams going at it, but after Florida upset Utah, I have not liked what I've seen from the Gators. Quarterback Anthony Richardson is not a great passer. Only completing 53% of his passes, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And if a team can just stop Florida's run game, then that's the ball game right there. Which, by the way, I called it before the season. Anthony Richardson was getting like top 5 quarterback NFL draft type, and I was just like, whoa, slow down. He's only played 2 games, hasn't done much, and sure enough, I'm right on him. Not that he can get better as a passer, but it's like I've been right on him. Now, I know Tennessee will score this game, but the question is, can their defense stop Florida's run game? I don't think they'll be perfect to stop the run game, but I think they'll do a good enough job at stopping or containing it. And plus, with their home crowd, again, to where they can rattle Florida, who's making their first road debut this season because they played all 3 home games so far. And as the Volunteers will remain undefeated this season, after winning 35-17. Forward, you got 17 Baylor versus undefeated Iowa State in the ESPN 2 game. Baylor's favored by just 1 point here, so it's a pick 'em type of game, which I agree with. Iowa State's interesting. They finally, beat their rivals Iowa after all these years, but they beat them with good defense, not with their offense. So their offense, it's kind of a question mark. How are they going to look against a good defense? Because against a good defense in Iowa, they didn't look good. With all their offensive weapons, Breece Hall and Brock Purdy, all that drafted. Now on offense, like I said, I think they'll struggle to score against Baylor's good defense. Now for Baylor, my question is, how is Baylor's offense though going to look against a pretty good Iowa State defense? Because against a respectable BYU defense, they didn't look that good, and that was on the road. And Baylor has struggled for some reason on the road. So this is not an easy game for me to pick, but I'm just going to go ahead and pick Baylor to escape the win here with a 21-20 type of win here, because I expect them to learn their lessons from the Provo loss. 3, you got Minnesota undefeated versus Michigan State 2-1. Minnesota's favored by 1 here on the road. 3-3 game on Big Ten Network. For starters, this is a very important game for both teams here. The winner of this game is highly likely moving back into the top 25, which is always good to be in the top 25. Now, there's good news and bad news for Michigan State. The bad news is, you lost on the road to Washington, who's now a ranked team, so it's not a bad loss per se. But their passing defense, the bad news is their passing defense looked super bad last season. And it's looking bad again right now, so far this season. Now, the good news is that Michigan State figured out offense how to succeed. And that was without their top receiver, Jaden Reed, in their last game. Because you know how Michigan State last year was all run the ball with Kenneth Walker Jr., run. Don't pass that much, run. Well, it's like now they can't run the ball for nothing. So now they can change their offense identity. So we're not going to be a running team more. We're going to be a throwing team with our quarterback and Jaden Reed and other receivers, making big plays. That's what we're going to be for now. So now that Michigan State figured that part out on offense, I do think Michigan will survive here because Minnesota is a very run-heavy team here. I don't think they're going to be able to take advantage of that weak secondary of Michigan State. So I have Michigan State surviving here at home 24-21. 2, you got 10 Arkansas versus 23 Texas A&M. A&M's 2.5-point favorite here in Arlington. 7 o'clock game ESPN. This is an important game for both teams here. I feel like the winner of this game has the inside track to maybe finishing second behind Alabama, although, Ole Miss will have something to say about that. But Texas A&M made the right decision switching to LSU transfer Mac Johnson as their quarterback. As, again, he's not great, Like, there's a reason to want to start Hank Haynes first, but he can do enough. And with his experience and all that, he's the better choice to go with, because he won't make crucial mistakes and all that, like Haynes Keen was making. And A&M's defense is really good. So on offense, all you have to do is, be solid. You don't have to be great because their defense gets the job done. Now, Arkansas survived against Missouri State last week. They were lucky. So Arkansas's defense, that'll be kind of an interesting matchup here to be like, okay, are they going to let A&M score a lot of points, which they kind of struggled to do so far this season? Or is Arkansas's defense going to button up and play better than they did last week? This game comes down to, the run for both teams and all that, because both teams, especially Arkansas, loves to run the ball. I feel like A&M will contain the rush for Arkansas, again, because they're a very good defense. So where they're going to make Arkansas have to throw the ball and score in that way in order to win. And I'm not sure if Arkansas will be able to do that against a good A&M defense here. So I have A&M surviving here 20-17. And then last but not least, number 1 game of the week. I know it's not going to be the number one game of the week for other people. But I'm really interested in 5 Clemson versus 21 Wake Forest here in the Battle of Undefeateds here, noon ABC game. I mean, Wake Forest got very lucky to not have lost to Liberty heading into this home matchup, as the Demon Deacons had to stop a 2-point conversion in that Liberty game. With quarterback Sam Hartman back after only having to miss one game this season, we know the offense will score and can do good, even though Clemson has an elite defense. But the question is, can Clemson's offense score on a very scoreable Wake Forest defense? That's the question here. Because Clemson, until the fourth quarter or midway through the third quarter, was struggling to score against a Georgia Tech defense. So it's just I'm not sure how Clemson's offense is going to look here. That's going to be the big interesting thing here. I feel like Clemson in the end will win this game, but it would surprise me though if Wake Forest tries to make it has a good second half and makes the score look more respectable than it will be, especially at home here. So I have Clemson winning 36-20. So again, just to review, number 10, I have 7 USC over Oregon State by touchdown, a high-scoring game. Number 9, Kansas State versus 6 Oklahoma by 2 touchdowns. 8, undefeated Duke versus undefeated Kansas. I have Kansas winning by 11 points. 7, you have Wisconsin versus 3 Ohio State. Ohio State winning by 17 points. 6, Washington State versus 15 Oregon. I have Oregon favored by 2 touchdowns. 5, 20 Florida versus 11 Tennessee. Tennessee, I have winning by 18 points. 4, 17 Baylor versus Iowa State. Baylor winning by 1. 3, Minnesota versus Michigan State. Michigan State winning by 3. 2, 10 Arkansas versus 23 Texas A&M. A&M by 3. And then 1, 5 Clemson versus 20 Wake Forest. Clemson by 16. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel to learn about me. Thank you very much, and hopefully you have a wonderful weekend of college football.